Hello everyone. I am going to be putting together some simple greeting cards in this video using a Cardabella collection, and I've already put some together, so I'll show you the samples I made and then I will show you how I build the card fronts. So stay tuned and I'm going to get set up to start making these cards. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a couple of the card fronts that I've already made. This one's got 4 layers, and I popped it up on some foam, the top couple layers. It will lay flat once I get it on a card front. So there was that one, and then this one. They might still kind of be drying, that's why they're not flat. I have a card here in front of me I'm gonna put together. I might embellish them with some of these flowers I punched out with my paper punch. I just used the leftover scraps from the strips that were left over from when I made the little frames here, and I punched it out in different colors. Before I go ahead and build the card, I want to share with you the dimensions. I'm just going to call this how to layer a card front. And this card base will be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then it's going to be just a plain white card front like this. These are A2 cards, and I got this pack from the Dollar Tree. Here is one of them. So that's what I'm calling the card base. So the card base measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So for my card front, which will be all of this, I'm going to cut it a little bit smaller so that I have a little border around the whole outside edge. I'm going to cut my card base, which will be this pink. I'm going to cut it to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's going to leave a 1/8 inch border all around my card. I already did this one ahead of time, and you'll see I have a nice equal border all around the edges. A trick for doing this, if you don't want to do any measuring, is to cut, or as much measuring, just cut this the same size as your card front. Then after that, all you need to do is trim a 1/4 inch off of one side here and 1/4 off here. So you don't do all 4, just do 1 and 1. That will give you an 1/8 inch border all the way around. And I will show you, I'm going to do that with these 2 pieces. So I will show you how that works. So that was a one layer. If you're going to do 2 layers, say you want a piece this size and you want another piece on top of that, that's going to be, so you'll have the base layer plus 2 frame layers. Then you're going to cut your top base layer at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And again, that's going to give you a second layer that has a border of 1/8 of an inch. Don't worry about the measurements really, because I'm going to show you how to make sense of it where it's very easy. So this is going to have a cut apart on it, and my cut aparts are measuring 3 inches by 4 inches. And I want a little frame to put underneath it to give it a 1/8 inch frame all the way around. So this piece was going to be cut 1/4 of an inch larger on this side and 1/4 of an inch larger on this side. So let me show you. So you'll see with my ruler, that's 1/4 of an inch. So then if I scoot it over, then, you know, I eyeball it and get it in the middle. Then I have an equal 1/8 inch border all the way around. This is so much easier to do it like this than trying to figure out, oh, you know, 3 7/8, and it's just easier to do this way. I will show you when I get cutting this. We'll go ahead and get started with this one. Put this stuff off to the side. So this is my card base right here. I already cut this one down. I cut my, this piece I cut to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so that's gonna be my layer. And this piece I cut to the same size just to get a good measurement of it. But I want it to be a little smaller so that I have a frame. So let me show you. Easy way to do this. You already measured this. You know that it's the same measurement as this piece here, which is 4 and 5 1/4. Okay, so this one's already measured to that. So you want to cut this one down to allow for it to be framed. These two are the same size. You don't even have to worry about what the measurement of this is now, because you're just going to cut 1/4 inch off the top or 1/4 inch off the bottom, not both, and 1/4 inch off of one of the sides. Okay, so I'm going to do, so here is my measurement for my piece of paper. You don't even need to know what the measurement of this piece of paper is. If you know it's the same size as the one you want to put a frame around or inside a frame. So this one's measuring 5 1/4. And I know I need to cut 1/4 of an inch off to allow for there to be a 1/8 inch frame all the way around. So just cut off, move it over to 5. So it started out at 5 1/4. And we're going to cut 1/4 of an inch off. Okay, so that side is done. Turn it, and you're going to see what you're starting out at. So this is starting out measuring at 4 inches, and we know we want to cut 1/4 of an inch off so that we can have a frame around this. So I'm going to slide this over 1/4 of an inch. So now it's going to be 3 3/4 inches, and I'm just going to cut one side. So I cut a piece off of here, and I cut a piece off of here. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm going to put these aside. I might use those later. So we're going to take this piece, and I'm going to bring over my back piece. And you're going to see that makes a really nice frame around there. Then that will go right on the card front. Okay. And then this one, I had already cut this one, so this one's ready to go. I'll do one completely from scratch, the next one. So now all I'm going to do is, first I'm going to glue 2 layers together. Hopefully my glue will get going. Yes. I put a bigger tip on it, and so now I'm using more glue. I don't know how I feel about it. So then I'm going to just eyeball this, try to get it framed really well. And hopefully my eyes are seeing straight today. I was trying to find my bone folder. Oh my gosh, here we go. I got everything piled up over here. Okay, so there's my base piece. So this directional, I believe, let's see. I don't really think it matters on this one, but just look at it and see which way feels better to you. And I like this direction. So that will be going on my card front there. Then I'm going to glue these together. You could use like double-sided tape if you want. instead of glue, but I just like to use wet glue. But it does, like, my paper did warp a little, I noticed, so I think maybe using this bigger tip on my glue gun or on my glue might maybe make it too wet. I don't know. So there we got our 2 layers. Then I'm just going to glue this on here. If you wanted to put some foam back there to add little dimension, I think I'm just going to glue this one straight on. There we go. Try not to go overboard on the glue. And I almost hate to cover up that pretty paper. So pretty. Okay. I think I got that pretty straight. Okay, there is the card front. And I'm going to embellish these with some flowers, but I'll do that later. And this is ready to be put on the card front. And I think I'm going to try, because this card is thinner, I'm going to try using my tape runner to put this on. And hopefully I can get it on right from the get-go. That's the scary part. Okay. Try to eyeball it 1/4 of an inch all the way around. That looks nope. Okay. Lay it down. Do it. This is why I use wet glue. There we go. That looks good. Made me nervous there for a minute. And there we have a nice little card. If you want to do a little something on the inside, you can take your leftover strip and you can just like maybe add a little border right here just to give it a little something on the inside, which I think I'm going to do for this one. Or you could put a flower or punch out a simple circle or something. Just stick it on there. But I just think it makes it look nice or more custom if you do something like this to the inside. Try to get that on there and get rid of the extra glue. Then if you want to rubber stamp a sentiment on here, or if you have sentiments you can glue on, that's always nice too. And then the pack of cards I'm using have envelopes with them. So I can just take the envelope out and put them together. A lot of people will fold this back and store it like this. After you make sure your stuff is dry. Let me get that glue off of there. Okay, I don't want to do it too much because this isn't the best quality cardstock. This card is on. So just stick this down in here for storage. And there you have your finished card. And it is ready to go for whenever you need it. And your envelope's already there. I don't remember if I shared, I'm using this Flora number 6 Cartabella paper. Very lovely paper pad. And it comes with a really nice sticker sheet. I have a really hard time using stickers. I don't know if I'm going to use any of those or not, but we will see. I have these 2 card fronts that are finished. And let me go ahead and put those on the card base. So I have 2. This one you could either do vertical, or what do you call that, landscape or portrait. This kind of looks pretty like this. I'm going to go in again with my tape runner. Try this one. And just try to eyeball it. I'm going to try to use my help with the help of my grid here. There. That looks good. And then we got this one. Again, I'll try to keep it in the middle here so you can see what I'm doing. First, let me get the tape on there. This one's got the foam dots. I'm going to try to get right along the edges so that it stays down on the cardstock. Got it. Okay. So, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I can kind of use it to make sure I have a straight edge, and then I eyeball my 1/8 of an inch. That looks good. There. Just make sure your card's opening the right way. I would probably use a little bit better quality cardstock than these. They're pretty flimsy, but I didn't know how flimsy they were going to be. So anyway, will it stand up still? Yeah, it stands up. Okay, so there's 3 cards that I just made, and they're super pretty, and they're ready to go for any kind of occasion, really. So we got this one. Let's see, like that. It's ready to go. And then this one. Okay. Got 3 cards ready to go. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to make some using this plaid paper. And I didn't do all the cutting because I wanted to show you how I trim things down for this. So my card base, let me get a card base out. So we can, card base, there we go. So again, the card base is going to measure, it's going to measure 4 1/4 wide and 5 1/2 tall. Okay, so take my card base, and there's my pattern paper. That one I already cut down, and this one I cut down, and they're the same size, but I want there to be a little frame. So you see these are already the same size. This one was cut down to allow for the 1/8 inch border all the way around. So I'm gonna take this one, and I already know from when I pre-cut everything, these 2 are the same size. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this aside. I'm gonna put this in, and I'm gonna line the edge up with the cutting edge. So it measures 4 inches wide, and I know I want to cut off 1/4 inch from one side of each direction. So I'm going to move this over. So it's starting at 4. I'm going to cut off 1/4 inch off and slide it over and then cut. So I'm done with this direction. So now I'm going to rotate it. And again, I'm going to line up my cutting edge right here, and it's currently measuring at 5 1/4. I'm going to cut 1/4 of an inch off. So I want to slide it down to 5 inches. It really doesn't matter what inch, how many, it could be right here, and you want to move it over 1/4 of an inch to cut it off, okay? So we're starting out at 5 1/4. We want to cut 1/4 of an inch off, so I'm going to slide it over to 5, cut that off, okay? And let's see how that worked. There we have a perfectly cut frame with sort of the same border. I may not have measured this one exactly, but you know what I mean. So then we're gonna put this on here, and that gives us, maybe I didn't measure this one properly. Let's see, should be 5 1/4. A little bit long. 5 1/4 by 4. So, okay, that's better. This was just a little bit too long. Okay, there, and there we go. That looks good. Then I'm going to take my cut apart. We'll go with this one. Love these colors. And I did not cut the background piece for this. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to get my cutting. So we already know this measures 3 by 4. It's a standard size for a cut apart. 3 by 4. And I want to add a frame to the back of this. So it's got to be bigger. So I want to add 1/4 of an inch to each side. So I need to cut a piece of background paper, adding 1/4 inch here. So it's got to be 3 1/4 inches right here. 3 1/4 inches. And then the length is 4 inches. So I need to add 1/4 of an inch. So it's going to be 4 1/4. So instead of cutting 1/4 inch off, we're going to add 1/4 inch. And that should give us the perfect size frame. All right. This one's ready to be glued on. So I'm going to start with the background piece. Get my glue on here. Try not to overdo it with the glue. And I'm going to just, so I can eyeball the center, because sometimes I don't get things on too evenly. This helps me. There we go. Looks pretty good. Might be a little crooked. Let's see. I think that looks pretty good. There we go. Then I'm going to glue these together first. All right. I've seen people use their MISTI to place things down too. But this works good for me. If you just line one edge up to make sure it looks straight, and then you know you got 1/4 of an inch or so all the way around. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect. After all, it's a handmade card. Then I'm going to glue these. I think for this one, I'll put a little bit of foam tape on the back. I'll just use this. Get my... Then I think I'll just put one down the middle. Sometimes I use the Dollar Tree foam squares too. Those work really great. But I thought this might be a little faster for the video. All right, then I'm just gonna remove my tape cover. And I always like to go in with a little bit of wet glue also, because that way if I accidentally don't get the placement right, I at least have a little time or a little wiggle room having the wet glue on here. I do not ever put things on perfectly, so it's definitely helpful for me. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, that looks very nice. Might have gotten it down a little low, but that's okay. Slide it up, I think. There we go. And then that's ready to go on here. Okay, it's gonna be a 1/4 inch border all the way around, approximately. All right, put it upside down. All right, I'm just gonna go in with some wet glue now. All right. Let's try this again. There we go. There. So I've got this one, then we put together these, and I have some more. I'm going to do those off camera, and then I'm going to come back on and we'll embellish these a little bit. I went ahead and embellished these cards off camera. I'm going to put a few finishing touches just to add a little strip or something to the inside of the cards. I'll do that here in just a minute, but wanted to show you how I decorated these cards. On this one, the only thing I added was these tiny little punched flowers, and I added some glass gems on there just to give it a little handmade touch. It just makes it look more customized and elevates the card. That's all I added to that. And on this one, I added a cluster of flowers up here, and I added some different gems on top, and then a couple of the little pink ones down there. Just a little sparkly. On this one, I added this really cute bow that I die cut here, and I added one of the little flowers with a gem in the middle. And I added 3 of the flowers up here with gems and down here. So pretty. And on these, I just added a couple of extra little flowers on there with some gems in there. Super pretty. And I just threw in some little daisies scattered around. Just that little bit adds so much to these. And on this one, I added this cute bow. And this is from a die set I got recently at Michael's. The die bows are from this collection here. And here's the small one that I just put on this card. I love the embossing detail on it. So cute. And then this was the one that I put on here. That is everything I did. So now I'm just going to put strips of paper on the inside just to give these, just to finish them a little bit. So I know I've done one already. So I just have some leftover strips here. I'm just gonna glue a strip here. Just kind of gives it a more finished look. You could also put a sticker. I've got the sticker sheet. Let me grab that here in a minute. Grab that after I get this. I need to get a stamp so I can put on the back my stamp. But I also have stickers, so I could put a little sticker here. Or you could use these as your sentiment inside. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it blank. I could put a flower over here. Let's do that. Get it off of here. These are gonna be hard to get off of here. These are nice cardstock stickers. So I could either put it here or maybe over here. I think I'll put it over here. There we go. And that just makes it look a little more nice on the inside. I like that. And this one, if I had more bows cut out, I would probably maybe put a bow in here, but I do not. And I think maybe I'll go ahead and use a sticker in here since I already started. Why not? I think I'm gonna go with this. Let's see. Yeah. I'm gonna go with this little rosebud here. Get it off. I'm destroying it. Cardabella is so pretty. I love cardstock, and these stickers are really nice too. So that looks cute there. And on this one, let's see. I could put just a strip of this paper in here like that. I think I'm gonna do that. I like card making because it's easier for me than trying to embellish something. I say it over and over on my channel. I struggle with embellishing things. And like, I'll cut out a die. I don't know how to embellish it to make it look all pretty. There we go. That looks nice, just like that. This one, okay, I already put the strip in there, so that one's done. And let me get a piece of paper. I like to use the longer strips. If you were gonna put it across the bottom, you could use one of the shorter ones. So I'm gonna put that there. And I'm really excited. Now I'm gonna have, how many cards did I make? 6 cards ready to go for any occasion. And they're perfect for spring and summer. There we go. And this one, let me see. Yep, decorate this one. Looks like I got one more long strip. So that will be perfect. Oh. If I was going to use one of these, I could just put it right here, like this hello. Or for the one that I have, do I have one that's plain? This one, you could even put the sticker, like if you want to put hello up here, That would be cute. Let's take one final look at all of our finished cards. All right. Well, that's all for this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone.